Greetings. I'm Dr. Donald E. Grant Jr., Executive Director of the Center for Community and Social Impact at Pacific Oaks College. Today I bring to you a talk entitled Self-Care and Resilience, How You Show Up. Right now we see our world in unprecedented times, and what we want to do as our community grows and expands is to make sure that we're providing adequate resources and support services for both our family members locally, in our schools, at our children's school, and in our variety of families. We know right now brings about a higher degree of stress, and in order to engage in self-care activities, we have to recognize what stress is and how it affects our bodies and our lives. Stress is defined as any uncomfortable emotional experience accompanied by predictable biochemical, physiological, and behavioral changes. One of the most important things to remember is that stress is not just an external experience. We oftentimes receive things from the external environment that make us feel stress, but it's a biological basis to this experience. And one of the first steps is to ask yourself, how does stress affect my body? How does stress affect my personal life? How does stress affect my professional and/or school life? Being able to identify those things helps you really to gauge where stress exists in your world and where it exists in your life and how you can address it. For some of us, we experience back pain and digestive symptoms. For others, our sleep is disruptive or our eating is changed. Even for others, we engage in relationship patterns that demonstrate how we feel given our certain stressors. And then for others, it's all of the above. How do you show up when you experience stress? One of the most important parts of understanding and dealing with this awareness is being able to understand also how chronic stress impacts our bodies. When we experience chronic stress, we run the risk of things like obesity, high blood pressure, digestive system concerns, infertility concerns, skin conditions. All these things play out in our experiences with stress. And right now we understand that we're under a higher degree of stress than many of us have experienced. The concern is that many of us are not aware of it. Because we're moving through new systems. Many of us are engaging in online activities in a way we haven't before. And many of us haven't figured out a way to stop our workday from home and continue the next one. Many of us engage in activities where we're frontline employees and you're unable to not go to work. You're facing danger on a daily basis. You're at a hospital. You're at a grocery store. Engaging and supporting the public needs during a time of crisis. Yet we forget to take care of ourselves. And so let's talk a little bit more about what that looks like and what we can do about it. Stress, as we described, is a biological concern that has a biological basis. We know that when we experience stress, it means that this chemical called cortisol is built up in our bodies. There are two ways in which we are able to release those cortisols from our bodies. You guessed it. Tears and perspiration. Looks like this guy has that down pat. When we talk about the ways in which we can engage in these activities, we can engage in exercise and physical activities. We can engage these things with our family members, with a variety of community members. We can even do them virtually now that many of our gyms and yoga facilities have online platforms and apps that we're able to use to activate these things. It's never too hard to find a movie that'll make you cry to release some of those cortisols through your eyes. Another important factor is to listen to your body. What is your body telling you about how you feel and how you experience stress? And do you actually take time to listen and pay attention to what your body is telling you? In order to really build resilience, this listening is important because what we have to do is follow several tenets to build things like optimism and have an optimistic perspective. Not Pollyannic, not unrealistic, just optimistic. A spoon of optimism has the capacity to really help change many of our perspectives and our thoughts. Believing in ourselves, practicing levels of self-control and understanding what discontrol feels like, our willingness to adapt to different environments and provide opportunities to develop what we call cognitive flexibility, our willingness to solve problems and build skills and gain tools that allow us to solve problems more effectively, finding social support, and having a sense of humor. When we look at those resilient qualities, we are able to structure them in a way that allow us to move from traumatic experiences, not with post-traumatic stress, but with post-traumatic growth. Post-traumatic growth occurs in 5 different domains. One of those domains is that we see opportunities that we've never seen before. Another way is that we build relationships that we've never had before. We get closer to some people, and at times you'll find yourself moving away from people who you find to be toxic after a traumatic or stressful event. We find increases in our own strength and our own ability to move through concerns and problems in a way that we had not before. And finally, many of us develop a deeper spiritual sense of self, whether that's related to religion or not. Herman Hesse said it best: "Whether you and I and a few others will renew the world someday remains to be seen, but within ourselves, we must renew it each day." For those of you who need help finding opportunities and activities, there's some wonderful apps out there. Here are just a few of them, and there are others that exist, other resources and activities. Pacific Oaks College is here to support you through this stressful time. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us, connect with us, and identify how we can help support your efforts and your work. Go to our social media page and tell us what you're doing to take care of yourself. Thank you.